Hello and welcome. This is a conversation with MusaWaLaikipia. Once again, it's another beautiful Tuesday that the Lord has made, that we may rejoice and be glad in it. Karibuni sana. Kama vile huwa tunasema kila wakati ya kwamba we keep talking because the moment we stop talking is the moment we start fighting, and that is why we are here for these conversations. Hizi conversations hapa ni za kusaidia society yetu ikuwe better. Na kwa sababu mimi na guest wangu tuko mbali kidogo, na unakumbuka haya ni majira ambayo si majira safi sana, ni majira ya COVID-19, majira ambayo lazima tujichunge. Na kwa hivyo nakuhakikishia mtazamaji wetu ya kwamba tuko mbali na kila mmoja wetu, na hata ingawa nitatoa mask yangu haimaanishi kwamba we are not observing the protocols of Ministry of Health. Na nitaomba ili tuweze kutoa mask zetu so that we can be able to communicate. We are so happy. Thank you so much for joining us. This is a conversation with MusaWaLaikipia. Tulipokuwa hapa wiki iliyopita, we promised you that this year 2021 we're going to bring a wonderful guest here on set so that we can be able to converse, to discuss issues zile zinatu affect huku mtaani, issues za za education, issues za kukosa kwa makazi, issues za COVID-19. Lakini kwa sasa leo hakuna mtu hajui what is trending. Wakati huu hakuna mtu anafikiria kitu kingine apart from the KCPE results ziko out. Watoto pia wa KCSE walimaliza mtihani jana. Kwa hivyo coincidentally today we're discussing about the Ministry of Education, the education sector. There are so many uncertainties in this sector when it comes to when the schools are getting to be open, when it comes to how our children have performed, when it comes to the COVID-19, how is the transition of grade 4 to grade 5, when is term starting and ending. I was conversing with another parent this week, and haelewi ati sasa Mei tunafungua ni third term, na tulikuwa tunajua third term ni December. Sasa KCPE ya 2020 itafanywa lini? Those are some of the questions people are asking. Ati term 1 itaanza July, form 4, class 8, class 4 ati watakuwa nyumbani mpaka July. Na KCPE nimetaja class 8. Class 8 nao wataingia July, ikuwe nayo ni term 1. Nao wale wako shule waendelee na term 1. What happens if we don't reopen? What happens? Those are the kind of questions we are asking. Those are the uncertainties that we are talking about. Tell us where you're watching from. You can also share this video. You can also ask us a question. This is a conversation. Although niko na mtu ambaye amekuwa katika sekta ya elimu zaidi ya miaka 20, hii ni conversation. So tuandikie pale katika Facebook. Pia unaweza tuambia ni swali lipi ambalo uko nalo, na kama ni kitu ambacho tumetaja kama ni swali, unaweza pia weka maoni yako pale na tutashukuru sana. Kwa hivyo karibuni, huyu ni MusaWaLaikipia na karibuni. This is a conversation with MusaWaLaikipia. Mr. Karibu sana. My guest today is not a new person in this ni mtu ambaye tumekuwa hapa, ni mtu ambaye the last time I was here, my friend JN from US suggested that he gets the Ministry of Education at least in the county. Probably he'll tell us if that prayer has been answered. If not, then we continue praying. Mr. Karanja, karibu sana.
Aya, asante.
Na usalimia watazamaji wetu.
Aya, na wasalimia wote watazamaji. And I thank MusaWaLaikipia kwa kunialika tena.
Karibu sana.
This is just a conversation that we are having.
Right.
So we are not having all the solution or the answers, but you are also free to ask your question, give your suggestion or things that we'll be discussing.
Right.
Either to move on one direction.
To move on the right direction, on the same direction. But now, Mr. Karanja, probably there are people who are joining this for the first time. Tell us, who is Mr. Boniface Karanja?
I think the simple way, the simplest way of could you introduce?
Yes.
My name is Boniface Karanja wa Masharia. Kwa ujumla, I'm a born again Christian. That's the main thing about me. Mimi nimeokoka, Kristo ni Bwana.
Amen.
Then number 2, I'm a husband of one wife. I'm a father.
Hapo ni key.
Then Mimi ni mwalimu in a normal school.
Yes.
At the same time, I work with the children ministry within my church. And that's one of the biggest role I like doing,
Yes.
working with young ones, especially wale watoto ambao ni age of 4 to 14 years. For us, tunaita window for 14. And mostly that's what I do. Yes.
Good. That is Mr. Karanja. The reason why I laughed when we talked about, the one wife, is very important kwa sababu wanaume usipotangaza msimamo unakutanga siku ile, may God forbid unaenda, unakuta kuna watu wawili watatu wanakuja kusema mimi ninaitanishwa na Karanja. Kwa hivyo Karanja ameweka hapo limitation ya kwamba yeye ni mume wa mke mmoja. Bwana Karanja, nataka kuchukua fursa hii kwanza kabla nikupatie fursa ni congratulate over 1 million students of this country ambao walifanya KCPE 2020. Don't confuse, it's KCPE 2020, not 2021. Yes, they did in 2021, but it is KCPE 2020. I want to take this opportunity on my own behalf and on behalf of my own family, on behalf of MusaWaLaikipia, a conversation with MusaWaLaikipia, to wish all these pupils a good congratulations. You all did well, despite, but I don't want to say that before Mr. Karanja start talking and tells us how they performed. But congratulations. We had the government saying all of you are supposed to go to Form 1. However, to now congratulate as you join Form 1. Don't worry, if you did not reach the mark that you wanted, there is a 100% transition. You'll go to high school, and I want to take this opportunity to congratulate all of you. And more so, there is a person who says in Kikuyu ate anageria kayo. I want to congratulate the students of St. Christopher's School, Nanyuki, for doing excellent. Kwa sababu hao ni watoto ambao nimementa for a very long time. And of course, where we are at Mount Kenya Baptist School, that is where we are filming from, and we really want to congratulate them for exemplary doing well. They did well. Congratulations. Bwana Karanja, chukua hii fursa useme congratulations.
One say just to thank God for the results that we got. I know for sure all the over 1 million people who did the exam, they did their best.
Right.
And for sure, hata tukiangalia ina kwa mkono, all the fingers are not the same.
Right.
So tunakuta, but the purpose is with the results, they will place them where they're supposed to be.
Right.
So I want just to tell them congratulations for good marks. Even within our school, the Mount Kenya Baptist School, we are proud that even our mean score, our performance went up. So that's not for us to say that.
Yes.
Right. Then through the support of the teachers, support of the parents, yote ni kusema tunashukuru for what happened in our school. And that's something that we strive even to do in the years to come.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Tunashukuru sana kwa vile watoto wetu wamemaliza. Lakini pamoja na hayo Mr. Karanja, kabla tuingie on the uncertainty, kuna swali already ishakuja hapa, mtu anauliza, mnasema mambo ya Form 1. There was a suggestion by the government that watoto wote wanapaswa kuenda day school zile ambazo ziko karibu. Wewe kama mzazi, kwa sababu najua in 1 or 2 years your son also will transition, what do you think about watoto kusomea karibu na nyumbani?
Let me tell you, even the ones that have done their exams, we have this system where you select the national schools,
right.
Then you come to the county schools, then you come to the sub-county schools. One thing we noted, after he did the selection last year, I think it was in January, these the nominal roles came back. And the order by the government was that the sub-county schools, all of them to be day schools. So I think that's a very tricky situation if you come in from a place where there are no schools. That would be very tricky for the parents. Then the other thing is, I think what will happen is, as the government opens up for these schools to be there, I think it will be also good for them, for the government to say that even the boarding schools that we have, for them to open day schools, day section, so that the pupils, if the capacity is full for boarding, then the excess that will be coming from around the school, to be given the opportunity not to board, but to be discovered.
For example,
that one will at least create a space for more people for the intake of the high school to be almost like 100%.
Yes, and I think I mean what you mean is that, for example, the Nanyuki High School is almost a national school, I think.
Yes.
All the students that are coming, all over the country, they can board.
Yes.
But for the ones that are from Moso, Nanyuki, Umande, Zingido, they can be allowed to come in as day scholars as long as they qualify for that school.
That to me would work, but only if they fit in the program of the school.
Right.
Sometimes there are schools that go to class very early in the morning, they leave late at night. If some of the parents who can be able to be taking their kids on daily basis, if they are given that opportunity, they will create space for others to come and take their place in the boarding section. But not for all schools that to be able to do that.
Yes.
So if you look at some of the counties, I've ever gone to some of the counties and you find they have like a high school in almost like 1 or 2 kilometers. That's the space between the high schools.
Right.
Those counties will have an advantage of others. But there are some counties that will be hit hard.
Yes.
If you don't have schools, if you don't have leaders who have they don't have that thing of building more schools, there will be trouble.
I think the ones that when you talk about advantage, I thought in my mind about Nyeri. There is a place called Madera Magidomo, and in Madera Magidomo, every 1 kilometer you find a school. Every 1 kilometer you find a secondary school. So I think they'll be favored more than others. Now, how has been the experience after the first reopening? You are a teacher. There was what we call the first opening. There was class 8 and grade 4, and then form 4, and then the whole school came. What has been your experience as a teacher during this time of COVID, more so the first opening and the total reopening?
I think the think tank of the government decided to open the grade 4s and the class 8s. That time there were uncertainties of, is it just a partial thing? Is it a trial? Is it on trial basis? And then it struck our mind, is the real thing happening?
Right.
And you see, for them, it was for term 2.
Right.
Then you find you're only concentrating the 2 classes. So in most of the schools, you find there were challenges, like especially the private school with the teachers. Which teachers do you call to come and teach, and which teachers do you retain at home? That was one of the challenges that we went through. Then at that time, also the government was very strict with the social distance. They were visiting schools to make sure they are washing for cleaning hands, there are sanitizers, all these, there are masks, and there are too many things. And you find at some time, even when you space your classes, some of the schools I had that they even had to create more classes for, like, if you go to a public school, where the candidates were like 150, when you do the spacing, you find that you have like 6 or 7 classes. And that was okay at that time. The challenge came in when you open the whole school. When you have more classes and the number of teachers remain to be the same, then you find that you have to do your teaching in intervals. The good thing, for our school, we are a bit lucky because we don't have very big classes. We are just able to give the distance in class. Then you're able to do it. The biggest challenge was coverage of the syllabus. There are classes that you're finishing the syllabus. The other classes, you're the middle of the syllabus. Then in these ones, you want to finish because if you're distracted and you start treating them with the majority, you'll be lost between. Because for them, it's finishing term 3. For the others, it is term 2. You see now, it's like almost in college. Where we have the first years, second years, and all those things. So it proved to be a challenge. And also, for sure, you find if the kids were at home for 8 months, or let's say around 7 months, which was also a challenge to many schools. We tried to do through the social media. You send some questions. Not all the parents have the bundles to do it. You find sometimes it's half the class which is giving back the results. You as a teacher, you need to buy the bundles. Then the school had to do a bit of making sure that you are online through the whole week. Then what ourselves we did, we are giving them in intervals, like for 2 weeks. Then they relax for another 1 week.
Yes.
Then we go for another 2 weeks. So that was a challenge that we had. That even with the level in the society, all the parents are not the same. There are some who are in a better class than others. For them, it became easier. Then the government also had a TV program, a channel. I think it's called the Edu channel, which had so many programs for the kids, but also it reached a point where the kids got tired, and they don't want even to open that channel.
And actually, as you say that, mi nafikiria pia kwa sababu kwa watazamaji wengine wetu, tuongee ukweli Mr. Karanja, na hii itaingiana na swali letu ambalo linafuata. Kuna shule zingine kama kule tuseme Laikipia North, mahali mimi nimeenda hata radio hakuna mitambo, mahali nimeenda hakuna stima, hakuna TV. Kwa hivyo now the next question actually comes in handy with that kind of information. As a teacher or an educationist, yes, do you think the results will have been affected by the months that the children were home? And do you think the adverse effects ya hii COVID yote, kuwa nyumbani miezi 8, kufanya mtihani wa KCPE, do you think ime affect results zile tumepata? Na unafikiri labda tutakuwa, kwa sababu tulisema transition ita take like 3 years. Do you think between these 3 years, does it mean we will have baked graduates because of this effect?
The first thing, results hata wakati zimetoka, utaangalia ukute even the marks for the first students in the whole country, marks zilienda chini. 433 zimeenda chini. But the most amazing thing, unakuta hizo results even they are from a public school. Technically, ni kama somehow they were affected and somehow they are not affected. Sababu through the Minister CS for Education, we saw that somehow even you're told the public school did better than the private schools. Meaning, akiangalia results and the way maybe things were expected, hazikuenda chini sana. But in reality, whether you like it or not, kuna watoto walikuwa affected. Sababu huwezi compare mtoto ambaye alikuwa na resources to do extra work with mtoto ambaye labda ako very remote place, ambaye hakuwa na resources za kufanya kazi. So unakuta somehow zilikuwa affected. The other thing, at the long end, hata wale that graduate in years to come, still COVID will be blamed for the disruption of what took place. Sababu in whether you like it or not, na tutakuwa kama ostrich ambaye anaficha kichwa kwa mchanga. The reality is there are some effects. Whether it is long term effect, saizi labda hatuziona, but years to come, sababu of how things will be rushed to go back to the normal system, there will be some effect on that.
Na Mr. Karanja, vile sasa umeongea hayo maneno, siku nataka tuguze hili jambo, lakini vizuri tuulizane pia wasikilizaji wetu na watazamaji wetu waone pale. What are you telling me? Okay, we agree, yes, the public schools performed better than the private schools according to the government. But I want to ask, this is a two-choir question. Number one, it is ile inaitwa swali la balagha. You don't have to answer, but our viewers can think about it. Kumekuwa na tetezi ya kwamba private school they are spoon fed. So, kwa sababu walikaa nyumbani sana, hawakuwa fed, hawakuwekwa na kijiko vizuri vile huwa nawekwa. Hiyo ni tetezi moja. Tetezi la pili, labda public schools were favored, na hii ni kutoka kwa MusaWaLaikipia, kwa sababu hii ni maoni yangu. Kwa sababu pia when you talk about the online, not many public schools were able to do the online stuff, kutuma kwa WhatsApp, waangalia kwa TV, but I know private schools were very keen on that one. Najua shule ambazo hata ni kama hazikufunga, mwalimu aliendelea akachukua laptop akaenda pale mbele akaambia watoto waingie Zoom wakiwa nyumbani. It is just critically thinking. I don't know if you want to comment about that or we proceed.
Now, I have an issue with spoon feeding. As long you are satisfied, baada ya kuwa spoon fed, whether ulijitafutia au ulitafutiwa ukalishwa, bora ulishiba.
Yes.
And my issue is this. Ukiangalia the CBC system, in grade 4, there's a new subject, it was science and technology. The purpose of the technology is ni ku-upgrade hiyo mtoto, and there are issues anatumia technology. The same government imeambia people over 58 years old, you can work from home.
Yes.
You're working from home using what?
See, the same technology. Yes.
So if this private people is being spoon-fed, you understand how you're being spoon-fed, because you're being given the same information.
Yes.
Sababu whether you like it or not, hata tukimspoon-feed, you not do the KCP with them.
Yes.
Still, they'll do KCP on their own. But
yes.
Maybe what you're doing is we are showing them things that they need to know, that when they go out there, things that they're supposed to do. Because I work in a private school, which is church-sponsored.
Yes.
And I've seen most of our pupils, even leaving our school, going to high school, and they're doing marvelous things outside there. Confano, I had a people who was here, and you know, I got amazed to see her on newspaper. She's an engineer, and she's one of the young engineers who are even transforming the Kenya Airways kutoka ndege za abiria zifanye za mizigo. Kama alikuwa spoon-fed, then you better continue doing the others.
Yes, I get that, because those are some of the questions people have been asking. Kwa sababu ukikuta kama, you know, why the situation? Are we saying that there's a problem with private schools in the country, that even if watoto wanapatiwa hiyo information ile wanapaswa kufanya, then unakuta mtoto ambaye ako less privileged, ako kule ambapo hakuna stima, hakuna solar, hakusoma online, na ameongoza. Hayo ni maswali ambayo wewe mwenyewe pia unaweza kujibu. Mr. Karanja, we have already lost almost an academic year. And recently the president locked, you know, of course, the nation, the 5 counties. Maybe God forbid, what happens if the situation does not improve? What happens? Because now we have already lost an academic year. We are waiting, and you're going to tell us about the calendar, na utuambie na ukumbushe wale ambao kama mimi hatuelewi vizuri tunaenda wapi na tunatoka wapi. Kwa sababu mimi bado sijaelewa hiyo kalenda, na vile grade 4 wako nyumbani na nani. Lakini what happens? The schools were due to open on 10th, which according to the minister might still happen. What happens if we go to 29th and beyond? Because already the curfew has been extended to 29th.
Nikiangalia jana,
right,
niliona level ya COVID ile percentage imekuja 9.6. And one of the things that the CS for Education said is that watu wote ambao wanafanya kazi na watoto, the first thing they need to do for now is
the vaccination. Yes.
Na hiyo job mtu akipata, it is after some time ina cover like 60 or 70% as you wait for the second job.
Right.
So one of the things that I will encourage people to do, especially teachers, in a person who is associated with
children,
learners anywhere, either in primary school or in high school, is to go and get the job.
Right.
Because I'm suspecting, that's my own suspicion, kwamba by the time you're opening, you might hear the minister saying, kama hujapata job, you are a teacher, no going back to school. So that's one of the things that I'm fearing might happen.
Right.
So mine is just to encourage whoever is associated with watoto and apata job.
Yes.
Number 2, this calendar boy now confused as parents.
Yes.
At the first wakati this calendar ilitoka, hata sisi ilituchanganya kidogo. But we went back to school tukaona it is workable, but still it is a challenge. Kwa mfano kama saizi tukisema itachelewa kufunguliwa tena, I don't know how the government will be able to implement the year to maliza hii mambo yote by next year December.
Right.
But for now, the way it is working, it is very tricky, because you might find grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 5, grade 6, and grade 7 wanaendelea na masomo. Term 3 yao.
Yes.
Which is coming in May.
Yes.
Wamalize July, end of June. So that I think they'll be closing like for 10 days. Then you'll start a new year. This new year will affect everyone. Now this will be the time for transition to the next class.
Right.
And that's why ulikuta class 4 angefungua ende 5 because already you have a class 5 who are doing their third term.
Yes.
So angefungua. Wale wamefanya KCP have the results out, they can go to Form 1. Because Form 1s who are there,
yes,
they have not yet done their term 3. So now unakuta itabidi wagoje.
Yes.
Sasa swali ni wako wapi?
Na actually hapo ndio tunaenda Mr. Karanja. Nataka uchanganye hii swali kwa sababu umepitia ile direction nilikuwa nataka sasa. Hebu pole pole Mr. Karanja. Like you are explaining to a class 2. because now there's this case. Nataka pia ufikirie hizi scenario zote kwa kichwa. As I ask you this question, but I want you to think also, in 2019 January there's a child who was due to join class 1. Haya, okay, tuseme alikuwa amejoin. Now 2021 mtoto ule alikuwa anapaswa ajoin 1. Ako wapi? Kwa sababu 1 ile ilirudi last year ni hii 1 ya last year. So mtoto wangu kama alikuwa nursery last year na anakuwa paswa ajoin hii mwaka, ako wapi? Then as you answer that, now tell us Mr. Karanja, who is going back to school and who is not going back to school? For example, if the schools are opening in May, who is going back and who is not going back? Hebu tueleze hiyo vizuri, hiyo timetable tuelewe vizuri. Kwa sababu mimi bado sijui grade 4. By the way, I was actually arguing with a parent, telling the parent, do you know your grade 4 is not going back to school? Akaniambia, we. She told me in Kikuyu, magachokole. You see now, the parents are confused. Why is grade 4 remaining at home for another, I think, 10 weeks or so, when others are going back to school up to July? Please. Look, angalia hiyo kamera na ni wewe peke yako unaongea. Ambia mzazi tunaenda wapi? Na ni kirasi gani narudi na ni gani hairudi?
Aya mzazi, nikiwa mmoja wa mzazi. Iko hivi. If you go back to last year, tulifungua grade 4
yes,
na grade 8. Wengine wote walikuwa nyumbani. Hiyo time yote grade 4 na grade 8 walikuwa shule. Wao walikaa nyumbani. Ni kama almost they were at home for the whole year, apart from ile miezi walikuwa wamesoma. I think it was in January and February. Those wao walikaa nyumbani. Now it is the turn of the class 4s and 8 being at home. Sababu there's something they covered, other classes never covered.
Right.
So wakati walifungua wote January, hawa grade 4 na grade 8 walikuwa na advantage of 1 term. Which they took as their term 2.
Yes.
So wengine wote wakati walifungua January waliingia term 2.
Right.
So hiyo term tumemaliza, there are some classes that were doing term 2, others were doing term 3. So mzazi, ikiwa mtoto wako alikuwa grade 4 na grade 8, amemaliza mwaka wake wa 2020.
Amefanya mpaka term 3.
Amemaliza mwaka wake wa 2020. Calendar year ya masomo.
Right.
Wengine wote other classes.
Yes.
Sitaki kuongea mambo ya high school because it will still be the same as whatever you're doing in primary.
Yes.
Utakuta wengine wote grade 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 neo sasa wanaingia kumaliza mwaka wao. Wanaingia kumaliza mwaka wao. We have gone for recess for 7 weeks.
Right.
Then mzazi ambaye uko grade 4 na yule amefanya candidate KCPE, ongezea mtoto wako another 10 weeks. So that will be around 7 plus 10 or 11 to be 18 weeks at home. Sasa mimi na wewe mzazi tufanye homeschooling.
Sasa tunafanya homeschooling gani na hawa wanangoja waende term 3 ni kama holiday. Another 10 weeks.
Imeongezewa because of what took place last year.
Right.
Lakini tujue that's the reality of it. Now kuna swali uliuliza.
Yes.
Kuna mtoto alikuwa aingie grade 1 or maybe PP1 or PP2
yes,
January this year.
Yes.
Sababu hangeingia last year sababu he had already done term 1.
Na labda hakuwa amefikisha miaka.
Sasa hakuwa amefikisha miaka. Kuna pale utafika. I think this year government exempt watoto ambao watakuwa even over age kuingia classes. Sababu labda alikuwa ingia January, sasa ataingia July. So unakuta amepushiwa like for 7 months. So it's due to the normal life you're living today. So acha niguzie kidogo.
Right.
Next year, our year starts in July.
Yes.
For all classes. My biggest worry is this. That next year, tutakuwa na 2 KCPs. 2
KCP. Mamia tu hapo. Sita kukata na hiyo point. This year, the KCP 2021 itafanywa lini?
Itafanywa next year March.
Si mwaka.
Hapana, haizi kuwa amemaliza sababu kumbuka
let's
sasa.
Let's end this show already because I'm even more confused. Go ahead, Mr. Karanja.
Wacha nikwambie Musa.
Yes.
Sasa ya 2021 wala anastahili kufanya uingia ujua ataingia class 8.
July.
Yes. So there is no way watafanya KCP December.
So July to when is the term?
July, August, September hapo.
Yes.
Kisha waingie term 2 ishe December. Half next year waingie kama vile imefanyika mwaka January, by March wafanye KCP. So my worry is this. Wazazi ambao kuna mtoto wako 6 na 7 this year.
Yes.
Miaka watakuwa stretched. Sababu ujue mtoto wako saizi 7 ataingia class 8 July afanye KCP March. Hafu ile yako 6 mwaka wa ingie 7 next year ingie 8 March na December afanye mtihani. So you can imagine within a period of 1.5 years.
Yes.
These kids will be stretched by the syllabus. Will be pushed. And I'm very sure kuna wengine tutapoteza katikati. Ulisikia hata CS akisema there are over 21,000 kids who had registered and they are nowhere to be seen.
Mr. Karanja, I want to cut you short because I have to tell our viewers, thank you so much for being patient with us. There's some hitches on our sound, but tunashukuru. This is a conversation with MusaWaLaikipia. Sisi tunakuja hapa kila siku ya Tuesday, tuna discuss issues that affect our society. Na kwa kweli Mr. Karanja bado hajanijibu swali langu na narudi kwake punde si punde. Kwa sababu nataka nieleze vizuri kwa nini kuna uwezekano next year kuwa na KCP 2. Kwa sababu really and I'm talking from a very what is it called? Not an informed position, but I'm putting myself in the shoes of a parent. You see, mimi ni mtu ambaye anasoma magazeti, anasikiza mawaziri na ninaelewa mambo mengi sana, lakini bado inafika mahali pia kama mtangazaji ninafika mahali ninachanganyikiwa. Je, sembuse yule mama ambaye yuko kule Matanya, yuko kule Garendare, yuko kule Laikipia, na ndiposa tunakuja tunaongea hapa. Wewe kama uko pale kwa Facebook ama YouTube unatuangalia, unapata clarification and then you can be able to go and explain. I thought the KCP 2021 is going to be done November, December hapo. I don't know why nilikuwa nafikiria hivyo, lakini sasa kulingana na mwalimu ambaye yeye ako na calendar, KCP ya 2021 itafanywa March. Mr. Karanja, hebu clarify kidogo. Kwa nini unafikiria labda itafika kabla to cover hii 3 years tutapata ile inaitwa kupata labda a crash of 2 classes? Why do you think that?
For now hakutakuwa na crash for 2 classes. So I think what they need to do tuchukue mzazi wa kila class at their own level. Mzazi ambaye mtoto wake ako saizi class 7. Your kid is in class 7. In July your child goes to class 8.
Yes.
They become a candidate. Na usikia hata CS akisema waanze kuwa registered. Kwa maana by the time inafika July watakuwa candidates. Meaning wataanza their calendar year.
Yes.
Which is for 2021.
Yes.
Mwaka ambao tuko ni vile tu imekuwa
extended
to July.
Yes.
Sasa tunaongea about mtoto ambaye ako 7.
Right.
Akifika by next year March atakuwa amemaliza mwaka wake. Sababu what the government did, it shortened the holidays.
Yes.
10 days.
Yes.
Ya term 1 wafunge kama 10 days. Term 2 wafunge 10 days.
Right.
Term 3 ni KCP. So yule mtoto ambaye ako class 7. Si July anaingia 8. Yule ako 6. July anaingia 7. Yeye apige mwaka wake mpaka next year March. Yule ako 8 amalize March. Afanye KCPE. Yule yako 7 ambao wako saizi wako 6.
Yeah.
Next year by March they'll be joining. By the end of March, so let's say by beginning of maybe May next year, wataingia class 8.
Right.
Wapigane na kalenda yao ikiwa crash program to November or December there, they do their KCPE.
Yes.
So that nikiangalia what the government is trying to do is to make sure by the end of next year,
yes, we can go back to normal.
We can go back to normal.
So that means 2023 January, we can go back to the being January is the first term.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, hata kuna jiuliza next year kuna uchaguzi.
Yes.
Is it next year?
It is next year, August. The second Tuesday of August.
So
hiyo iko kwa akili.
So it might be labda ponpo shule zitafungwa.
Yes.
Sababu si uchaguzi is one day. So that's when we have the facilities like schools being needed.
Yes.
But my prayer is that the impact of elections will not have anything to do with the impact, the disruption of the school calendar.
Yes.
Sababu ikifunga hapo, tutaruka another year.
Yes.
Mwaka ukikosa kufunguliwa sababu ya COVID, God forbid, it will even push us to 2024.
And that's why actually at this point we are encouraging, ladies and gentlemen, members of the public, na wale watu wanatusikiza asubuhi ya leo, by the way, for your information, Mr. Karanja, tumeambiwa na Minister wa Laikipia wa Health, Madam Rose Maitai, ya kwamba tusidanganywe na 9.6 ya jana. Mimi nimeshtuka leo, if we go by the numbers that she has given us this morning, as per yesterday we had 41 cases in Laikipia. 41. So in the last 24 hours, we will have 41 cases of COVID positive in Laikipia out of a few samples. And therefore, if we want our children to go back to school, ladies and gentlemen, hatuna bahati, lazima tuvae mask, lazima tu sanitize, lazima to keep social distance so that we can protect our children. And again, ladies and gentlemen, teachers, if you qualify for the job, I know it is a personal thing, but if Mr. Karanja is okay, can tell us if he has gotten the job, but it is very key. When your time comes for you to get the job, and I have said this very many times, please get it. Mimi ikifika wakati wangu wa kupata hiyo job, nitakalia kwa line, niweze kupata for my own sake and for the sake of my producer ananiambia hata yeye anataka kudugwa, yeye anagoja. yeye kwanza ako kwa hiyo line, na sijui kwa nini mtambo ya online ya Laikipia County haifunguki. Jamani, ni vizuri wale walimu wameingia kule online na wakabook dawa, ni vizuri waambiwe kama imeisha ama iko. Na hiyo swali I promise I'll ask Madam Rose Maitai on your behalf, my producer and others that are asking. Unapoenda unabook sindano pale online katika Laikipia, ni kama mtambo huo mtu haitwi haraka. What is happening? We'll have that explanation. So Mr. Karanja, we are saying before, we are going to tunaendelea kumalizia kwa sababu hatuwezi malizia hii conversation na we have only a few minutes remaining. According to my producer, naona akininulia mikono. This holiday has been a very, very long holiday. And it is a unique holiday because ni holiday ambayo watoto hawaruhusiwi kutangamana, ni holiday ambayo haina tuition zile tulikuwa tunaenda zamani, ni holiday ambazo library pale ni watoto wachache tu wanakubaliwa. What is your word to the parents, and how do you think our parents should handle our children? Mr. Karanja, the 8 months we stayed at home, look at the impact. Pregnant, drugs. Now we even have a longer holiday. By the way, we are not yet out of the woods. We have Form 4, we have Class 8 and Class 4 for the next another 10 weeks. Wakiwa peke yako uko nyumbani. Tell us how we handle these children out there. As a parent and as a teacher.
One thing that as a parent we need to do. Ni ujue for now.
Yes.
The children are in your hands. Sasa ni ile ya partnership. Between the parents and the teachers. But now, the parents are taking the biggest part of it.
Right.
If you are at home, make sure you have your kids engaged.
Right.
Because if you don't engage them, they look for ways to engage themselves. For my part, what I've done is that I'm lucky because the school where I am, we are organized in a way that we have a holiday workbook.
Right.
And this holiday workbook, I'm able to monitor what my child is doing. Every day I make sure that hata kama anataka kwenda kucheza, the biggest part of it is anafanya kazi ya shule. But also,
Yes.
hata hii mchezo, we need also to be very careful.
Right.
Because you're told, watoto wadogo, they are the biggest spreaders of COVID.
Right.
So you're also very careful na friends they're interacting with. If possible, let them interact with very few.
Yes.
Ile group kama ya boys kwenda kucheza football, I think it should be avoided as much as possible. Like where I live in my estate, we had that problem of all the boys going together to an open field where they were playing, to an extent that even our security chairman wrote an SMS to us. Akatuambia kila mtu yake mtoto wake nyumbani. These times, these are not the best time, because in the same estate I think we have lost like 4 or 5 people with COVID. So we are very cautious.
Yes.
So I think as a parent, vile wewe unajikinga.
Yes.
Sababu ukiwa mzazi ambaye una underlying issues, your child is going to kill you.
Right.
Sababu akienda achukue huko nje, akuletee, wewe ni utaenda.
Right.
Because I think the kids are fighting the COVID very fast. And that's why even you don't even have a vaccine for the young people.
Right.
Like myself, I've already taken the vaccine.
That was my next question I was to ask you. Kama wewe umedungwa, and it's a personal information.
Yes.
Now that you have told us umedungwa, what is your experience? Because most of us, including my producer, although I know he's waiting to be vaccinated, many people are afraid. I am seeing you here and you are okay. Tell us the experience.
I think this is my 3rd week. Nilidungwa wakati President Uhuru aliweka lockdown. The following Monday, I went to the hospital. Nikapanga line. At that time, hakukuwa na watu wengi. People had, they were suspicious of the COVID. But I remember listening to a doctor who said, it's better to have COVID-19 with vaccine than to have COVID-19 without the vaccine in your body. So, what I did is nilienda, nikapanga line, na nikadungwa. But the nurse said there are some reactions that will come. What happened to me the following day, it was on Tuesday.
Yes.
Ile mkono nilidungwa because even when ukidungwa unaambiwa, ile mkono haifanye kazi. So nikapatiana yangu ya left. So by Tuesday morning, I could not even sleep on my left side. Mkono was very heavy. Number 2, I had a mild headache. And all my joints were aching. I remember mimi sio mtu wa kulala mapema. Lakini hiyo Tuesday, nafikiri nilala saa 2 usiku. Uko nasikia mwili ukiwa mzito, kama ni mwili umechoka. But the good thing is by the 3rd day, I was okay. I think bodies react in different ways.
Right.
I have a colleague of mine ambaye aliniambia aliumwa na kichwa for 2 or 3 days. Mimi nikamwambia yangu iliniuma for 1.
And the problem is that you cannot take any medication.
No, because we are told this is just a reaction of something which has been injected in the body. It is fighting with whatever is in your body.
Right.
That it will just take few days and it will be over. After that, there was nothing with me.
There's a person who was saying that yeye alipodungwa hii kitu alikuwa na njaa. Wewe umehisi njaa?
Mimi ni usingizi. Usingizi ni ulikuja day 2. Mimi ni mtu wa kulala saa 4 saa 5. Lakini hiyo day 2 I slept at 8. Yes. Because my body felt tired. Yes. Extremely tired.
So like you said in the beginning, what is your word to the teachers? Because Mr. Karanja, we are supposed to achieve a 25 million so that we can achieve what is called the herd immunity in the society. What would be your word? Because we have watched all over this country. There are counties like Lamu. They have already by yesterday they had vaccinated 461 people out of the possible 1,500 for a whole month. What would you tell the teachers in those kind of counties and even our counties where some of our teachers have not yet been vaccinated, including the people who work in the front line? What would you tell them?
I think one problem we have in Kenya, Kenya is a very unique country. Majority of us are doctors. We are suspicious of everything. We have facts and imaginations about things that don't even exist. Ndivyo nakuta wengine wanasema ni dawa important, unashindwa. Sasa sijui nini ukidunga utafanya nini. Lakini kama vile tuliambiwa watoto wetu especially the young ones wako very good with immunity. Wewe sasa with the phase 3 imetoka ya COVID, umeona what is even doing in our own town. Walimu tujichunge. Usisikilize mawaidha ya kila mtu. Mimi huwa nasema if I need good advice I'll talk to a doctor.
Yes.
Ili nimwambie what are my fears.
Right.
Then after that anipatie medical advice. Not ile ya street advice.
Na zile messages zinaforwardiwa kwa WhatsApp ndio wanaleta hiyo conspiracy ya what is this vaccine. Those kind of things. That is the messages you're talking about.
But messages, unajua kuna mtu alisema whether you take it or not, ikikupata you'll be on your own.
Right.
Na wakati utaanza kusema I wish I had taken the vaccine.
Yes.
Even if it is not 100% protecting me, at least ingempatia some immunity.
Right.
Lakini sasa kwa vile umekata as a teacher, the best thing is think of yourself. Think of how watoto they don't come from the same area.
Yes.
Watoto uko na wao the whole day in school. Fikiria some of the public schools.
Right.
They have over 1,000 kids. Ubeshini na watoto wote for the whole day. Hata nyinyi walimu wenyewe.
You are at risk also.
You are at risk. So the best advice I'll give the teachers is please take it.
Yes.
Don't listen to everyone. We have medical doctors. Consult them. Ask a question. Then make the final decision.
Right.
Don't make a final decision because of your friend. Make final decision because of yourself. Mimi skile ninaenda kudungo hii sindano. I met pastors kwa line. In Laikipia have the settlers wakiwa wame line up to take the vaccine. Nikaona watu kama Asians walikuwa kwa line mbele yangu. And one thing wanajua I don't see a negative thing.
Yes.
Unajua there are communities kama wazungu before they take anything lazima
wachunguze.
Lazima nikakuta melangu iko lazima kama 10 nikajua I'm in the right place.
That is Mr. Karanja speaking. Mr. Karanja is an educationist, mwalimu ambaye amekolea, mwalimu ambaye amekuwa katika elimu kwa zaidi ya miaka 20. Tunashukuru sana kwa sababu ya hii conversation ambayo tumekuwa nayo. Kabla nimpatie Mr. Karanja nafasi ya kusema kwa heri na kama ana jambo la mwisho, nataka kuwashukuru na kuambia kwamba we come here and talk about these issues that affect our society. Na sisi tunafuata facts. Mr. Karanja amekuambia yeye amedungwa sindano na actually kama sikuwa make decision ya kudungwa, Mr. Karanja is enough evidence. Mimi ninajua yeye ni mwalimu amedungwa na najua marafiki zangu wengine, lakini kwa sababu mimi si mwalimu, nafikiri wakati wangu ukifika wa kudungwa, mimi ni mtangazaji na ninajua sisi tumewekwa mahali katikati. Wakati huu ukifika, mimi nitaenda hasa ili niweze kuprotect jamii yangu na kujiprotect mimi mwenyewe. There are so many uncertainties when it comes to the education sector. We have talked about some few of them. And I know Mr. Karanja is not a stranger. He's around. We'll continue with these conversations and we'll keep on asking ourselves what happens next. But at the moment, we do not know what is going to happen. Already the curfew is up to 29th May, for God's sake. But if things continue the way they are continuing, ladies and gentlemen, we are on our own. We need to take care of ourselves. Because if you don't take care of yourself, the president will still close the country. If you don't take care of yourself, I've told you, we did not have cases in Rumuruti. Today there are 15. 9 in Nyahururu. 5 in Nanyuki. And so many other. Actually, the words from the Minister of Health in County told us every dispensary in Laikipia has a case. So which dispensary is near you? With one of the vice directors there of producing this, he's from Turukuma. Turukuma dispensary has one. Bwana director, my director today, he's from Likie. Likie has a dispensary. That means there is one person everywhere. Let me give an opportunity to Mr. Karanja to say goodbye and the last words to our viewers. But Mr. Karanja, please promise whatever we need you, we'll still get you, because these conversations zinasaidia watu wetu.
Thank you, MusaWaLaikipia, for giving me this opportunity to come and discuss about issues affecting our education system.
Karibu.
One of the things waambia wazazi ni kwamba there are changes taking place.
Right.
let's adapt them. Tusiwe watu wa roho ngumu tuseme hapa serikali inatuangusha au hapa imetuangusha. Let's support it because we know what happened last year.
Right.
As we tackle whatever is ahead of us, wacha tukubaliane kwamba things are not normal. And as things change, let us change with the change.
Right.
Sababu whether you like it or not, it has happened. Na tuliambia kuna mtu alisema COVID is here to stay with us.
Right.
Now one of the ways to prevent ourselves is to take the vaccine. Na tusiwe watu wa superstitions of everything.
Yeah.
Kwamba COVID is there. Tumeona unajua last year we are talking about do you know someone who knows someone who has COVID. Sasa hizi ukiambia mtu hivyo hata anaweza kukuchekelea.
Right.
Because it is affecting everyone. People have died, that people that we know. So mine is just to tell you or to tell our viewers.
Yes.
Wacha tuwe serious about whatever is happening in our country. Wacha tuwe serious. We try to take care of our families. Kufuata maagizo ya serikali. Sababu I was talking to a cousin of mine ambaye ako Nairobi. Ambaye alifungiwa kalala kwa street. Na polisi. Akaniambia from now henceforth atakuwa kimake sure anafika kwa nyumba by saa 1 sababu alilala kwa barabara. Aliambiwa alifungiwa na polisi saa 3:30 mpaka saa 10 asubuhi. Alikuwa anaota moto na polisi kwa barabara.
Alilala Uhuru Park.
Kwa barabara. Unajua polisi waliakisha moto wakaambia tuote moto pamoja mpaka saa 10 asubuhi. And that's when they were released. So the issue is tusio watu wa kuvunja sheria kila wakati. Wacha kama wakati COVID curfew ilikuwa saa 1, we are able to make it at home by 7. Even though it is 8, please let's make sure you are at homes at 8.
Right.
And we take care of our kids. And hiyo ni responsibility that you have been given by God.
Right.
They are responsibility, sio responsibility ya mwalimu.
Right.
Mwalimu ni ako na jukumu lake, wewe kama mzazi fanya jukumu lako.
Naam.
Tunza mtoto kwa vile atakija shule akiwa na COVID, hata hakuna quarantine shule, tutakurudishia. So the best is take care of what is yours.
Right.
Yes. And thank you very much.
Mr. Karanja amesema vizuri sana. Hata mtoto wako akipata COVID tutakurudishia, na kazi ya mwalimu si kuchunga mtoto avae mask, si kununulia mtoto mask. Kazi ya mwalimu ni kucover syllabus. Asante sana. Mr. Karanja tulikuwa na swali lakini hili swali nafikiri si lako. Kuna watoto jana wa form 4 walipomaliza mtihani walishikwa na curfew wakalala huko Uhuru Park. Msikilizaji alikuwa anauliza what do we do and what do we tell the government? Of course Mr. Karanja amejibu, do your responsibility. Jua mahali ambapo huko, kama wewe ni employer, create more time for your people to go home because the curfew it is enshrined in law, Public Health Act. Na inasema ya kwamba kama utaenda against the Public Health Act unachajiwa 10,000 ama usipofanya hivyo unafungwa kwa miezi 3. Kwa hivyo wasikilizaji wetu, it is your responsibility, and I take this opportunity to thank very much my guest Mr. Karanja for always coming here to give us information. Hizi discussions zetu tunapofanya hapa hatufanyi ili tujinufaishe, tunafanya ili kusaidia jamii yetu. Solution based conversations, and ukiwa pale wale ambao wanatuangalia, wewe unashare hii video pia tunakushukuru pia sana, kwa sababu wewe pia ni agent wa change. Unapotuma hii video kwa watu wengine wana watch, unapoenda pale video YouTube una subscribe kwa sababu we'll put this video on YouTube, pia unatusaidia kusaidia na kueneza the positive information to our community. I want also to take this opportunity to thank my director, Bwana Steve Njero, executive director and producer of this show. Namshukuru sana kwa sababu ya kufanya kazi nzuri, making sure that sound tunaomba pole, tunasema we are sorry. Chris Bravery, Pastor Chris Bravery akiwa kule Embu anatuambia mazee sound ongeza volume, na tukaongeza volume. Nikaona msikilizaji mwingine akasema jamani there are hitches, huyo ambaye alifanya kwamba, na nikaona mwingine amesema it is good now. Sasa whoever was doing that is Steve Njero, akisaidiwa kwa karibu sana na jamaa anaitwa Nicky Robert, na pia kama unasikia kule nyuma krichi anaendelea pia kuchukua picha na kumake sure ya kwamba this is documented. So tunashukuru sana. This one cannot happen if I don't have these people behind us. On graphics siwezi kusahau Tabitha Susan Wanjiko Njoroge, and of course making sure that we have been watched far and wide Masai Leather Collections wakiongozwa na jamaa anajiita Fidel Ole Fidel. Asanteni sana and kwa heri ya kuonana. Kwa heri na tutakutana tena, haitazuia. Ikiwa ni kupenda kwa Mwenyezi Mungu, tukutane siku ya Jumanne with another brand new guest, tukiendelea kuongea conversation that help our society. Na ukisikia hii show imekujenga, ingia pale inbox, ongea na mimi, nitakupatia namba ya account, na kama unajua namba yangu ya M-Pesa, ingia pale, tuma kakitu so that hata niweze kupatia guest wangu fare aende nyumbani, wala sivyo anaenda mguu. Asanteni sana. God bless you and see you next time. This is a conversation with MusaWaLaikipia. God bless you and have a good day.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.